Hi everyone. So Aamod sir has given me a very big introduction. So this is Harini Rangarajan, founder of Nutrigenetics Life Science Private Limited. So as Aamod sir said, my journey of entrepreneurship, it all started with the Social Innovation Immersion Program. So anything you wanted to start is all started with a problem, and from a problem you give a solution to it. That is what every entrepreneur does, and every startup has its own path in its way. That is how a vision and mission starts. So to talk about social innovation immersion program, it's all about finding the right problem statement, finding what are the existing problems in our society across India. And me being a food technologist, I didn't know, I did my MTech in food process engineering from Neftan Tanjavur, but I didn't know these many deficiencies and nutritional problems are availing in our Indian population. To talk about it, we found protein is a big deficiency, micronutrient deficiency, vitamin B12 deficiency. I was not completely aware these deficiencies are there in our Indian population. So Social Innovation Immersion Program helped us in finding these problem statements across different geographic locations of India. So to talk specifically about geographic locations, we have been in Bhubaneswar, and I'll give you a short story. We went to a place called Nagada. So there were no roads. They were tribals, and they just ate rice and salt. In such a place, we saw kurkure and lays selling there. We were all so stunned. They just eat rice and salt, and they're not ready to adapt healthy food, but they're ready to adapt a kind of attractive snack. That made us think a lot about of how we can bring both technically as well as innovative part into the society. That is how the journey started. So into my journey, as I said, we found protein deficiency, micronutrient deficiency. In a running busy schedule in our day-to-day life, it is very difficult to balance our nutrition. That is a very big major segment that we are facing today. One side, it is completely to obesity, and another side to micronutrient deficiencies. So this is the starting point that I would say, which hit me to start a startup. And now today we are working on micronutrient deficiency and protein deficiency in a product called PlantTech. So to talk about PlantTech is a plant-based egg protein alternator. So PlantTech will give you 2 times the nutrition of a normal egg. It is a kind of vegetarian source, that I would say, a complete vegan source, but in a trendy form that everyone loves. Just cut the packet, mix it with water, and pour it on a hot pan. Your RDA is fulfilled today. So that is how we are focusing. And this is a short story that I would say about my starting journey and the way here I am today.
Thank you, Harini. Obviously, there are many questions, but obviously, Swapnil, we would like to hear your story as well, and then we'll go round by round. Yeah.
Yeah.
Am I audible? Yeah. So first of all, thank you for inviting me here. Good to see you, Harini.
Yeah,
and it has been a long journey. And to start with, basically, as Harini told perfectly, that we should start with why. Why, whatever we are doing, it should start with why. So when we were part of this SIP fellowship, TISS was the knowledge partner, and it helped us immensely, basically starting from venture designing, from how actually we should articulate the problem, what are the different kinds of the angles in which we should actually see the problem. It should not be we should not be very much biased towards. So when we started, basically, I'll just start with my story. I am not a food technologist. I don't have a degree in food technology as such. But I am from biotechnology background. I have around more than 10 years of experience in biotechnology industries, R&D. I was a researcher basically before this. So at my home, basically, all the problems, when it is close to your heart, you will feel it more. At my home, my mother was bedridden. She had a neurological disorder. And I have seen it very closely that a patient who is bedridden, who is actually recovering from a chronic ailment, So basically, neurological disorders are neurodegenerative. So there are a lot of organ failures, a lot of things which happen, and the food that we give basically, we are actually what we eat. 70 to 80% of things we are eating actually are responsible for our physical health or our basically getting us prone to lifestyle disorders or not. That is actually dependent on what we are eating. So the diet that we give for a chronic patient, that decides the nutritional optimum nutritional status of that patient. And when during this fellowship, when I actually went to National Cancer Institute, then there are a lot of cancer hospitals I went to, because cancer was the one thing which I was having personal interest in, because it's obviously it is a leading cause of death. So I observed that 60%, like talking with patients, talking with nutritionists and dietitian, we observed that 60% of patients suffer from this disease-related malnutrition, which is not a common type of malnutrition. That is because induced because of the disease, and this is actually increasing the healthcare cost, increasing the financial burden for patients worldwide. In India, also, it is very much critical. And this particular malnutrition, it increases, basically delays the recovery of patient, and it leads to other problems like loss of mouthfeel. The simple pleasure of eating which a person has as a human, that is lost. So loss of mouthfeel is there. Then quality of life is also decreased because the patient is dependent on his caretaker or someone at home to prepare his own meals. There are frequent meals which are required. So when I observed this problem, which was very close to my heart, then we thought, what can be a food intervention which can actually help for patients to have a easy, convenient food to take care of the specific nutritional needs. So we actually figured out, okay, what are the specific nutritional needs, which are the common deficiencies which these patients face. So protein deficiency, as Harini also said, it is very much critical. Then micronutrient deficiencies are there, and as a vegetarian person has a lot of deficiencies like vitamin B12, vitamin D, which are not fulfilled by the diet. And when we talk about plant-based diet, so there are a lot of issues with the nutritional content which is actually absorbed. So plant contains a lot of anti-nutritional factors which actually hinder the nutritional absorption. So I was actually lucky to have a food tech mentor who has immense experience in food technology. So when we during the immersion phase, when we actually talked through this problem, we found out basically plants we can actually process, we can innovate with the processing method to improve the nutrient retention. So this was the idea behind the product which I made, which is ProMore, which is a moringa base. Moringa is an Indian superfood. So we are focusing on all traditional Indian superfoods. And our company name is Renaissance Superfoods, which is actually having a vision to revive Indian traditional superfoods and bring them in the form of healthy snacking options for all age groups. So we started narrow with disease like chronic disease patients, but we actually want to cater to all the fitness conscious individuals who are pressed for time, who don't have much time to prepare their own meals, who wants nutrition but don't have that much time. So we have prepared ProMore, which is a moringa based one bowl meal option which can take care of your nutritional needs, and it has a interesting taste variations. So taste variation was one more need gap which we had found, because all the protein supplements there in the market, mostly they're in the form of uh, chocolate vanilla flavored drink options, which patients don't have much compliance for. So in short, this was the product which we developed, and because of TISS and because of SIP fellowship, actually we were it leveraged us to basically identify the problem in a much deeper sense.
Great, Swapnil, Harini.
So
one
that's
obviously
all.
common factor is you have observed something from the society and started developing solution to it. Now, was it so simple, Harini? We obviously, I have been, as I said, I have seen the journey. But then, if for the benefit of the participants and keen interest followers, was it so simple that you kind of saw the kurkure packet in a rural, and then you suddenly realize there is a deficiency, protein deficiency, and then there was a plant tech. How was
Obviously,
it?
no.
We would like to know more about that. Where did Harini as a technologist came into the picture? How did you wear the hat of technologist? Because even I as a non-technologist can think about that, but solving it in a technology way, the way you solved it, Same for Swapnil as well. Question is for both. What was the journey, and what were the challenges, especially in considering Indian ecosystem, the food habits, etc., etc.
So, I just said in 2 to 3 minutes that we found a lot of problems, and from that one problem, we have to choose. Like, we found almost some, like, our task from Bairak, TISS, and our incubation center kit was like to found lot and lot of problem statements. We found at least some 50 to 100 problem statements in hand, and we were in search like which problem to search to take in, and what is the pertaining need, will it have a market or not. Like, to analyze all these things, it was a very very tricky task, where like that is where like this Bairak and all your support was very much intended. And to find a right problem with the market perspective as well as a technical perspective is very difficult. To club, we can find a right market with some product, some with some X product, but to bring in some technology to that particular problem with the social aspect all together in one ball is a very difficult task. And me being a technologist, like into food, there are a lot of processing methods. Like, whatever food you consume, it is all about processing in different methods and different temperatures. It all happens in different methods. So for me, I wanted to utilize plant source, but I don't want to lose the nutrition during the processing method. That was my aim. So any processing method, there will be a loss of 70 to 80% of nutrition during the processing method. So generally it happens, whatever technique you take it. So me being a technologist, I wanted to give protein, I wanted to give micronutrient to the maximum extent, but I don't want to lose nutrition. So I was in search of technologies that will process the food, but it will not lose the nutrition in terms of the processing. So I was in search, and I found a few people who are already using it, and I found a technology called heat pump drying. So this technology, it is a drying process. Even when you dry it, it will retain 80 to 90% of nutrition. So when you just compare it in a general term, there are dryers called solar dryers, and there is this technology called HPD. So when you compare it with both, in solar dryer there will be a loss of 70 to 80% nutrition, and here there will be a retainment of 70 to 80% of nutrition. So this is where my technology came in. So incorporating a right technology into a right product, that is very important. And giving the nutrition is also not an easy task. Like, as Swapnil says, he's focusing on cancer patients. I'm focusing on protein or micronutrient, whatever the task may be, we have to fulfill the nutrition. So with the minimum quantity, the maximum nutrition has to be provided. So this is how the journey started with, and it is not like, as I say, it takes just a few minutes to explain it, but it's an 18-month period, and still it's running on and on with lot of supports, like how to market it, how to bring in the product, how to bring the right packaging for this product. Generally in food products, when the moisture content of the product is higher, you need to take care of the packaging material, you need to take care of the shelf life, and as time goes, the nutrition in the product deteriorates, so we should take care of that as well. And apart from all these things, how much the nutrition does our body intakes, that is very important. We call it as bioavailability or bioabsorption. So these many terms are involved in developing a product.
Great, Harini. Obviously, there is second question for you, but then we'll hear Swapnil's story as well. Swapnil, now, so obviously, I would have asked this question before. Moringa being a superfood. Now, Moringa probably is the most popular tree, at least in the Western Ghats, probably across India, barring few geographies. No one would have thought Moringa to be a superfood. Probably, I don't know. I'm not a technologist, but in the whole technology food circle, was it Moringa being a superfood, or how did you arrive on Moringa being a superfood?
True. I actually wanted to tell this story. I missed out. So, as I told, I was a biotech researcher. I didn't have any connection with food technology as such. But when we were actually searching for a paper for wound healing, Then once I found a very good paper in good journal, I think it was Nature or something like that, with a good impact factor, wherein there was a paper and there was evidence about moringa, and how basically there was some IISc scientist who had discovered different like genetic makeup they had actually done, and they had seen ki there are a lot of factors which are present in moringa, which are therapeutic, which are curative. There are like anti-apoptotic, anti-diabetic, like use name it and it has it. So that actually increased my curiosity towards moringa, learning more about moringa, what is happening with moringa. Then we found that moringa basically it is available in moringa dry leaf powder. Basically, people just for leaves they dry it and solar dry it and just give it. So that is the market which was available. But when I talked with farmers in our region, they were not knowing the importance of moringa leaves as such. So that is more popular towards southern part of India. But in northern part, it is not that much popular. People who were saying that acha drumstick fruit is not there on the tree, they will just cut the trees and just burn it off because they are not getting any value from it. So when we talked with those people, they didn't know the importance of moringa leaves and what are the nutritional benefits that it has. So that was actually the start. The how I actually generated the curiosity in moringa as a miracle tree. I read a lot about moringa. What are the different things which we can take? And as Harini also told, nutrient absorption. That was the main aspect which we wanted to actually study. And I was lucky to have Dr. Sriram Raghavan, who was actually one of our mentor in SIP fellowship. He actually told me that moringa, the way it is consumed, it is a westernized way that you just make a dry leaf powder and give it. The way it is consumed in southern part, like it is infused in sambar, the nutrient contents will actually get infused in the pork, the soup, and then actually it is available more. So where we tried to actually simulate that experiment, and we tried to have blanching as well as drying combination experiments. So we combined the pods as well as leaves and made a dehydrated mix out of it. And we had actually filed a provisional patent also for that, which actually increases the nutrient retention, the essential amino acid, which are very much important. The profile of essential amino acid gets improved because of this particular processing. And this was about moringa. And then we also, since we were having the main mandate was to revive the Indian traditional superfoods, and millets. Millets are also one of the very important traditional ancient grains that we have forgotten, and it is considered as poor man's food and all, but it is also nutritionally very much prolific. So when we talk about millets and all, so government is declaring international year of millets and everything is fine, but people don't have that much compliance towards eating millet. They have like their taste, their palate is so much towards wheat and rice and other refined flours and all. The millet, whatever the nutritional content, people don't have that much liking towards it. So the main technology that we actually are working towards is how we can actually have a better tasting products out of these things, because these are all herbs, grains, coarse grains, which are not that much good tasting. And if you want to actually penetrate into the market of healthy eating, health and taste don't go that much hand in hand always. So we are actually trying to improve the taste, coming out with interesting taste variations, trying to mask the taste of moringa, trying to make it in an extract form, which is actually required in a less quantity, but it will be potent also. So those are the technology which we are actually trying to work on.
Great. Great. So now my question to you both is, obviously both are good technologists. You have good hang on technology. Then why social entrepreneurship? I mean to say you could have been a scientist, probably working in some food tech technologies, helping some good brands, creating few good flavors, foods, etc., etc. Why social entrepreneurship? Harini, if I again, we will follow the same order.
So me being a food technologist, how am I going to give my knowledge to the society? Excuse me. Excuse me, sir. Can Swapnil take over?
Yeah, sure. Swapnil, if you can.
Sure. Yes. So so I didn't start as my aim was not to be a social media. But I was in this healthcare, I was in healthcare industry only because the basically the contribution that actually it can make towards improving the quality of life. And since I told, I had a patient at my home, I have seen what are the struggles that family, the caretakers they face. And the means it's the kind of basically how can we touch the lives. So if we are just into, like, there are a lot of career options that we could have chosen, but being into this, we have a greater probability, greater chance to actually touch the lives of underserved population. So that was the basically the inspiration to be to continue in this
Okay.
particular field.
Before Harini rejoins, or I mean to say, gets back. Now, my next question to you is, Harini, are you
Sure.
there?
Yes, sir, I'm
If you
there.
can listen to this, to your answer, and then move forward.
Yeah, like me being into me being a food technologist, I could have opted, as you said, get into a food industry, help them in R&D work, some R&D work, but I couldn't have touched any social cause, like me saying it protein deficiency or micronutrient deficiency. So me being a food technologist, when I touch food, it's not only the customers, I'm also going to touch the farmers. So it's like a supply chain. Like generally we eat whatever, like the food that is produced in the agriculture farm. But here, when we process it, we are going to touch a large amount of farmers, and the production is going to high. So I'm going to touch the farmers, the deficient customers. So it's going to be a huge turn and back when I get into social entrepreneurship.
Okay. Clearly, now there are two things. Obviously, you said right technology, right market, right perspective. You mentioned the social good part as well, and at the same time, you were talking about entrepreneurship as well. Now, obviously, there are too many things getting mixed. If I have to kind of segregate it, profit and purpose, right? Both are important. You cannot leave both. How do you manage this, Swapnil? If I have to start with you.
Yeah, that is actually very critical. To start with, we means we can't be for like the like an NGO. We have to actually generate profit to be sustainable, and to make a difference, we have to be profitable first. So that is the rule of business. If we are not making revenues, then whatever we talk, it's of no use. So we have kindly, to start with, we have segmented our product profiles basically. So there are a lot of products, like we have to have a mass product which is actually sold very well in the market. We do like that is actually that basically to regulate to have a regular cash flow that is required. And out of, because we are also associated, because of this program, we were lucky to get associated with a lot of social trust NGOs. And I am part of Ashadeep Nutrition Center, which is run by my technical advisor, Dr. Pratima Shastri. So it actually helps the specially abled children who have like vision loss, who have if they are some handicapped people, they actually help them. So through whatever revenue we make, we are trying to from our own level, we are trying to incorporate 2 to 3%, some kind of charity as a donation. We help those organizations. That is one thing. And also we have like two different segment of products. Like one is which is affordable, which is, we are not trying to take out all the nutritional characteristics. We are trying to make it affordable, but we are not expecting a lot of revenue from that. So that goes to the segment who are actually underprivileged. And then we have a normal segment also, wherein we are like for nutrition. Post pandemic, people are crazy about having healthy foods and all. So people in the metros are also very much in line with all these products, and they we have got a good response from metros. So that is our revenue channel stream also. Through that, we try to be profitable. And being profitable, it's a big word. We are not like it's a continuous process, but whatever we are generating, we try to help them.
Great, Swapnil. Harini, over to you. How do you manage it?
Yes, sir. So as Swapnil rightly said, it is not only social entrepreneurship, it is also about making profit. So how do we manage is like, as I said, we get in touch with the farmers regularly. So we create awareness of how nutrition products should be consumed, or how nutritionally a person should be in a day-to-day life. So we give awareness among the farmers group, and also like utilization of less chemicals in the soil. This is one side that I would say. Apart from the product development, all those things, we also target in such things. And as Swapnil said, we have also segmentized the product into two variants, where we target one into the premium segment and another one to the tribal segment. So here we are connected with the Todas from the Nilgiri district. So we are closely associated with them, and like we give a regular pack of plantex to them. We make a trial with them and see how nutritionally they are getting benefited out of it. So like we need to have a balance in both sides, both in social aspect as well as in a profitable aspect. So in general terms, we are a segment for premium people. So this is our segment. From that into a social entrepreneurship, we do such practices as well.
Okay, great. Now, the next question, obviously, your enterprise is too young to ask you, have you measured your social impact, or have you measured the impact, etc., etc. But then, if you have, or if you have something as a perspective you would like to know, or else if it's not there, in very classical terms, if there is no impact, one moment or one incidence of self-satisfaction, uh, which made you feel that, oh, thanks that I'm in this field and not a typical scientist or being into a corporate. One moment from each of you, one fulfilling moment, if you say, at this point of time. Obviously, if there is social impact, we would like to know, but any of it, yeah. Swapnil, if I may start with you.
Yeah. So as I said, like every day we try to, like, it's evolving. It's not like we currently have a lot of impact, but the kind of potential it has that we have identified. And the one moment which you are talking about, once there is a trust who actually takes care of nutritional needs in adults and girls. So as you all know, there is like iron deficiency, anemia, protein deficiency are very much prevalent in especially adults and girls and people who don't have that much nutritional access. So there is one trust who actually takes care of nutritional needs in such girls, and they had asked us to make. So they actually give curated meals to them, but they had asked us whether we can provide some kind of tasty snacks, kind of things which are good in taste, but they will like it because they are kind of bored with whatever daily food that they have. So we had provided 1,000 nutrition bars. So nutrition bars which were moringa based, which had some kind of, we could not add cashew and almonds and everything, but we tried to add almonds. We tried to add some kind of, we made a sustainable formulation which we can give in a lower price. It was just like 10 rupees. So when we delivered that package, 1,000 Nutribars, and when we went there, they were like, after eating, they were very happy, and they actually, they don't get very tasty products as such. They, whatever healthy, as I told, it's not often very tasty. So they actually liked the taste, and they were very happy. And when we saw that, actually, we were very much. It was very fulfilling moment for me. And in order to cater to them in a better way, we that is the actually the purpose, the key. If we want to address these special needs, there should be some technology which actually can make the product affordable also, because means how we can use a smaller quantity and make it more potent nutritionally. So that was one moment which we cherish. And talking about impact, we are not using any animal product as such, and the animal agriculture, the kind of climate change, the kind of effects it has on climate change. So in a way, indirectly, we are trying to prevent it. And as Harini also told, we are also connected with farmers, and the farmers who don't have, the farmer suicide cases where that's a totally different issue. But if we can actually contribute to at least 10 families and improve their livelihood, improve their whatever they are getting by even even if we can double that, so that is also a good kind of impact to start with. And seeing the happiness on their faces, the children who are actually trying, who are basically getting, they are getting good food, and seeing the happiness on their faces, it's a kind of impact which we are happy with currently.
Thank you, thank you. That was so nice to hear. Harini, over to you.
So to talk about plant tech, like here as a social aspect, like we don't use any preservatives or chemicals in our product. That itself we feel like a biggest thing. We use the right technology and bring the best out of it. That is itself is a greatest aspect. And in terms of energy conservation, we use solar panels over here. So that is where, like I would say, that is also something very important to the climate change. So I would say that. And what happened was, like, one customer, she was deficient in iron, and she was consuming regularly for past 3 months. And I didn't know that she was consuming for the past 3 months. And she called after 3 months. She called me and said, like, see, like, your product is very good, and like my iron has improved very much. Your product taste is also very good, and like it goes with everything. So that was her feedback from her. So that made me like, okay, we have done something. It has really impacted her. We hear it from a customer. That is what I would say. In short, right now, a real social impact, a real social impact. We are not at that stage. Maybe down the line, in 1 or 2 years, we would have something really great with us.
Surely, Harini, surely you will have. Moving forward, I'm to say I don't want to ask a stereotype question. What are your future plans? But then obviously that comes into the mind. Where do we see Swapnil and Harini 10 years down the line? Not in terms of only business, but in terms of overall the purpose what you have taken in your hand, and the business as well. How do you see yourself marrying both in a successful way? Probably the best thing what you can think about yourself after 10 years. Where do we see Swapnil?
Yes. So as I told, it's all like it always evolves. Basically, when we started 2-3 years back, like after during this fellowship, the kind of problem we addressed. So 5-10 years down the line, if I can, so there aims are always bigger. Like we have to eradicate nutritional. The hunger index we can improve, nutrition security should be improved, and everything. But even if whatever we have started with, if we can reach 50%, 60%, we can actually affect the lives of the people in terms of nutritional. So we are not that much, like 70% of people, we are not concerned about what is happening in the rural levels, what is happening with the people who don't have enough money and resources. So so even if we are able to bring it down by 50%, that will be a huge thing, and we want to actually contribute towards that stage. Also, looking into this, there is the market is huge. Like we also want to be present worldwide. It's not just pan India. I was like lucky to be invited at a investor summit at Dubai last year. When we went there, the markets, like the supermarkets, they are crazily filled. All the shelves are filled with a lot of different type of products. But when we see, since we are into nutritional field, we know what are the kind of artificial ingredients they are using. It's not, nothing is natural. In the form of sugar, alcohol, they'll be using a lot of things. In form of some e numbers will be there. So people are not that much aware, but they have money, so they will buy anything. So we want to actually bring Indian traditional superfoods and actually present it on a global platform. If we can achieve that, that will be a huge thing, and that is what we are aiming for in next.
Indian traditional superfood on a global platform. That's really great. That's really
Yes.
great. Harini, over to you.
Yes, sir. So, like down the line, in 10 years, I don't want to be a unicorn, but I wanted to follow my own ethics. Like, as said rightly by Swapnil, to give food, to give a right food to the right customer, and to take the traditional aspect of our Indian food into the global market. So, like, right now we are into plant-based innovations, and as we evolve, we wanted to bring in right technologies with the right aspect of food that we wanted to take in into the global market. I think Swapnil has almost covered whatever we wanted to say, but almost a similar kind of way. Bringing in the supporting all kind of down the line parts, like from the farmers to taking in the commodities to the right place. It might be a food complete value-added product or through a single product, but bringing in right technology with the right people is what we wanted to do.
Great. Yeah, bringing the right technology to the right people. Obviously, yes, perfectly. Last question to both of you. Any advice to the socio-tech entrepreneurs? I'm not asking only about entrepreneurs. I'm not talking only about technologists, because yours is a niche path which you have kind of chosen. So, any advice? Harini has been giving her nuggets, right technology, right perspective, but probably if you can, elaborate it more. So we'll start with Harini.
Yes, sir. So when I say right technology with right people, obviously to young entrepreneurs, marketing is something that you have to really look into. So we have a huge market, though we have a huge, last week I got a call from a farmer saying, like, I have 2 tons of coriander leaf. Like, if you don't take it right away, it is going to get wasted. That was the situation here. Like, to talk about vegetables, it happens in tomatoes as well. So we have the right technology, but again, where is the market? How are we going to approach the market? How are we going to segmentize the market to get profit out of it? We're not going to expect something that should happen very instantly, but down the line, how are we going to approach the market with the commodities? That is very important. And while choosing the problem statement, fine, technology is fine, profitability, all those things is fine, but choosing right problem is very important, because there are n number, even if I look in like just like this, I can find n number of problems, but what problem will give a real impact, and that should also be profitable, that should also be technologically involved. So that is very tricky. So before you step in, choose the right thing. That is very important. Like, just it shouldn't be like just like that I went into it and now like I'm getting lost. It shouldn't be like that. So choose a right problem, and when you find a right problem, ultimately you get the right solution. Like, there are n number of people, like, see, Aamod's Tata Institute of Social Science, Kitty BI, Bairak, Social Innovation Immersion Program. There are a lot of programs that you could, like, there are a lot of mentors around us who will help you to bring a beautiful solution. That's not a problem at all. Building something is very easy, but building a right solution is very important.
Good to know that, Harini, finding a right problem, finding a good solution or right solution is the crux. Swapnil, if we can have few nuggets from you as well.
Actually, Harini covered most of the things I was going to say. Marketing, and focusing on the solution, right solution. That is actually very much important. And one more thing I just wanted to add was the kind of exercise that we were involved, which is called as design thinking. So that was very much essential at the starting stage, and like it can be done by anyone. It's not like we have to have a business kind of mindset. A design thinking actually is a customer centric approach. When we talk with, it's like interacting with a lot of your potential stakeholders, preparing questionnaires, getting their insights, and actually that helped us to basically move forward and find out whether whatever we are doing, whether it's a kind of validation that we did. And it is very much essential to at the starting stage. So design thinking is one thing which I will encourage everyone who wants to validate their idea, they can go with. And yes, you should start with why, and the problem should be really worth solving, and plus you should have competence that you should decide basically what are the kind of things which I am good with. And these days technology like AI and a lot of things are there which will help you learning a lot of things. So I'll suggest ki, initially you won't have a marketing partner, everyone whom you like, but there are a lot of platforms which are available easily today, which will help you understand a lot of different subjects. So that is important. Learn, like, being excellent at whatever you are, like, it will help you go further.
Great, Swapnil. Thank you very much. So it was great talking to both of you.